From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we say a very good Wednesday evening, everyone, and we welcome you to tonight's coverage of Rivalry Family Media Basketball right here on Facebook Live. It's Leominster and Tantasqua, the Blue Devils and the Warriors, as girls basketball takes center stage tonight on this Wednesday. This matchup between Leominster and Tantasqua rescheduled from during the Christmas holiday. These two schools were supposed to get together during the holiday break. They weren't able to make that happen for one reason or another. Teams went back and forth trying to get the reschedule put in place. They were able to get the game back on the schedule, and they were able to secure a conversation over which site would host. Leominster volunteered to host the action on this midweek Wednesday night. So here we go, Leominster and Tantasqua, two teams that have had very different seasons thus far. Leominster comes in with a 1-7 overall record, losers of 4 straight games, going all the way back to our last two broadcasts with Wednesday, January 5th against St. Paul. That was a 48-41 loss. Then a 46-41 loss to Algonquin on Thursday, January 13th. A loss on the road on January 18th at Millbury by a 48-33 score. And then closing out the regular season sweep at Wachusett on January the 21st. That's last Friday night, a 65-32 Wachusett victory. 4 straight losses for Leominster. You got to go all the way back to Thursday, December 23rd, right here at the gym at Leominster High School, a 38-17 win versus Oakmont, the last win for the Blue Devils in girls basketball. Meanwhile, you look at Tantasqua, they opened their season with 8 straight victories, 8 straight wins, including a forfeit win versus Southbridge. Then a couple of losses, stubbed their toe against 2 very good girls basketball programs here in this 21-22 school year. A 73-58 loss to an incredibly tough Hopedale team, and then a 64-50 loss at Millbury on January 17th and 21st. That's last week. Got back to their winning ways, did Coach Tony Giugio's team a win over Grafton at home by a 47-36 score. 9-2. Are the Warriors, as we welcome you, albeit late, to our courtside broadcast position. Another night where the junior varsity game in front runs a little bit long. It was an exciting game. Ultimately, Tantasqua in the JV game pulls it out by 1 point in comeback fashion. But we're with you here now in our courtside broadcast position. Todd Robbins, joined by Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here on this midweek Wednesday night. Here we go, Leominster and Tantasqua. 2 teams, as we said right off the top, from very different perspectives with the way this season has gone thus far. I turn to Bill Thomas, and Billy, here we go. Leominster and Tantasqua coming up for the folks at home, and this is a Leominster team sorely in need of a victory, but tonight may not be the world's best night for that victory when you've got a Tantasqua team that is absolutely riding high. Stubbed their toe last week. They'd like to forget last week on the schedule, but 9 wins to open up the season.
Yeah, this Tantasqua team, after coming off a season which they didn't play, Coach commented in some of his pregame stories that they practiced for 6 weeks last year, but their league decided not to play. So this season got canceled. So for them to come out and play the type of basketball that they are under a new head coach is really something. But they have a talented group of seniors and, balanced score. And so, their record is no fluke, and I expect Leominster to have a very tough go against a good Tantasqua team tonight.
And of course, you've mentioned, Bill Thomas, numbers. Leominster offensively is going to have to significantly up their production to even get in a conversation in this one tonight.
Well, Leominster's had trouble even reaching 40 in a number of games this year. And, when you look at Tantasqua, they've only scored under 53 times, and 2 of those were wins. One of them was their opening season game, I believe, a 35-30 win. So this Tantasqua team knows how to put up points. Leominster's got to find a way to play defense tonight, but also find somebody that they get some consistent scoring. The last 3 games, I don't believe Leominster's had a player in double digits. The scoring's been spread around, but nobody's really been taking charge. And I think somebody needs to step up tonight, be that workhorse, and just be relentless and try to take control of the game and at least draw some attention, maybe get some early buckets and see how things play out. But somebody needs to take charge on the offensive end for Leominster. We'll see if somebody can do that tonight. We're not sure who it could be, but I'd like to see at least somebody step up and hit double digits tonight and maybe lead the way.
Meanwhile, for Tantasqua, 2 players we'll keep an eye on tonight. Sophie Law, Dana Lorenz. Coach Giugio said in an article earlier this season in the Worcester Telegram and Gazette, he described Dana as an energy player with a serious presence. And meanwhile, he described Dana as an energy player and Sophie as a serious presence that demands respect. That is the description of the 2 players tonight that we expect we're going to hear quite a bit about when you trace back over the 9 victories that Tantasqua's had. It is either Sophie Law or Dana Lorenz who had top scoring honors in any of those 9 games. Welcome in the 3rd member of the broadcast team, Kate Robbins. And Kate, done a good job setting the scene for what's going to go on here for the green and gold. On the other side of things, for Leominster's blue and white, Bill Thomas talked a little bit about the offensive needs. We're going to talk a little bit about the social emotional needs when you're on that side of the floor. Right now, you're in a circumstance where you have been losing games at an alarming rate. You've got 1 victory over an Oakmont team, a division or 2 down. You are desperate for a good performance, and it's not that we're not seeing growth through the different games where we've been able to trace Leominster throughout the year. You can see some growth. The growth just isn't happening fast enough. If you're the coaching staff led by Coach Rusty Frederick, how are you prepping these girls tonight? Because we all know, as losses start to pile up in any athletic endeavor, it becomes harder and harder and harder to focus your team.
Well, that's an interesting point. We've seen in the last few contests that we've covered with these girls, these were quality performances. These were times where in seasons past, Leominster likely would not have played up to their competition. And in each case that we've seen this girls' team win or lose, they've played up to their competition. So that's something to certainly to heed there. As you said, they clearly are making progress with regard to their fundamentals, their communication, with regard to, essentially all aspects of the game. And they're playing up, but they're just not surpassing their competition really at any point in time. So the things that you need to look for, of course, as a coaching staff, the girls still have to believe in you that they're doing the right things, that they're making strides, and that the W's are eventually going to come. On the defensive end of the ball, they're going to have their hands full tonight with a pretty high-scoring offense coming out of this Warriors team. So they're going to need to have a complete game if they're going to want to be able to continue to play up to their competition and to squeak out a W here. That's
going to be the big part of their action. I've got to dismiss you quickly
I gotta go.
to go confirm the starting lineups. Kate will be right back with us in a matter of moments because we'll have the introductions coming up. Bill Thomas, you'll get a last word here on what your expectations are. Kate makes a great point here. You've got to, of course, defensively increase your effort in order to depress the scoring. We've seen it on the boys' side of things for Leominster. If you can hold that opposition who's got the better offense to less possessions of the ball, less makes, keep their number down, it brings you into the conversation of the ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that starts on the inbound. If you're going to you got to take time off the clock. You can't let Tantasqua have a full shot clock and walk the ball up, see the floor. I think you got to press from the inbounds. We'll have to see if Rusty changes things up a little bit. We saw a little bit of pressing last few games, but I think the girls just need to be really active and just be aggressive, hands up. I'm sure they've been talking about that. But it's one thing to do it in practice, another thing to transfer it over to a game action. But I think we're going to see a good effort, nonetheless, from the Leominster girls, although it hasn't really showed up on the scoreboard in the last four games.
They have gone through the fire. If you are wearing blue and white on the girls' side of things, they've played the best of the best in girls basketball here in Central Massachusetts. They get another crack at another one of those teams tonight as Tantasqua finds themselves right in the middle of their conversation in Division III across Massachusetts as part of the statewide tournament. Tantasqua firmly in the tournament right now, resting right around the 12-13 spot. Leominster far on the outside looking in Division II, 56 out of 66. Not an ideal circumstance to be in, to say the least. That horn means we're getting closer to action. We've got introductions, national anthem, and then it's tip-off. It's Leominster and Tantasqua for you coming up inside the gym at Leominster High School. Hang right here with us. This is RFM.
Leominster Blue Devils. As a reminder, fans, masks are mandatory at all indoor events per the statewide mandate of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, the MIAA, and the local administration. Fans are asked to wear their masks over their nose and under their chins at all times. We thank you in advance for your cooperation. Tonight's event is sanctioned by the MIAA and the Midland Wachusett League. Fans are reminded to positively support student athletes, coaches, and officials. Be loud, be proud, be positive. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Tantasqua Warriors. All sophomore, number 5, Nicole Hitchcock. A senior, number 11, Dana Lorenz. A freshman, number 22, Maya Jordanis. A senior, number 32, Sophie Law. And a freshman, number 40, Maggie Johnson. The Warriors are coached by Tony Giugio, assisted by Jason Herber and Joe Mooney. And now, let's meet the Leominster High School Blue Devils. At guard, a sophomore, number 3, Taylor Boulay. At guard, a junior, number 4, Isabella Rivalry. At guard, a freshman, number 25, Mia Keenan. At forward, a freshman, number 30, Francesca Frankie Bello. And at the other forward, a sophomore, number 44, Juliana Pompey. The Blue Devils are coached by Rusty Frederick in the sports season, assisted by Megan McNiff and Chris Pompey. Fans, we ask now, please rise and remove your caps, as together we all remember them and those who defend our freedom with playing of our national anthem.
And with that, we're ready for basketball here inside the gym at Leominster High School on this Wednesday evening. Great to have you along with us. Leominster and Tantasqua on the girls' side of things getting ready for action. Leominster, you noted off those introductions a very different looking starting 5 than Coach Rusty Frederick has run out on the floor throughout this 2021-2022 campaign. Taylor Boulay getting a start tonight, had been the 6th man off the bench for Leominster. Mia Keenan got herself a first look at the starting lineup in their last game against Algonquin. She's turned out to be an incredibly dead-eye shooter in her freshman year. And then, of course, Frankie Bello and Juliana Pompey have occupied that front court low block spots. Isabella Niebard has been in and out of the starting lineup for Leominster throughout the year. Ball set at midcourt, tip is up and away, and Leominster will control the action and go left to right here in quarter number 1. Boulay also sporting a different jersey number tonight. She's wearing jersey number 4 out on the floor. Make that adjustment in your program at home. Here's the drive to the lane, swing back top of the key. This is Bello. Shot away for Keenan, and Kate, here's the great news. Everybody's wearing different jersey numbers tonight.
Fantastic.
For a communications industry, it's amazing how we lack communication ability.
So are these the new uniforms then?
These must be the new uniforms that have arrived, and somehow that message never made it to our courtside
Everybody
broadcast
picked new
position.
numbers. That's nice.
That's nice. Absolutely, Bill
Good thing
Thomas.
you know who's who.
3 away for Lorenz, and she will bury it 30 seconds into this one. And it's 3-0 quickly
Bill,
in favor of Tantasqua.
I wouldn't have even noticed.
Drive down the lane. This is Keenan's lay-in good, wearing jersey number 11 for those scoring along at home. Up floor come Tantasqua. Little give and go, work to the low block. This is Law. The lay-in just missed over the back support. Juliana Pompey, the rebound, and still rocking her Syracuse-approved number 44. Back top of the key, this is Boulay. Hands to Nevard, swing to the near side, Keenan. Drop it off Bello. Little give and go, finds Nevard on the inside touch. Caught in a double team, couldn't handle it. Send it back to Keenan, straight away 3. Rattles around and down. Leominster able to respond. 5-3 goes the score. 6.5 minutes left here in quarter one.
Leominster getting some early bounces around the rim.
All 5.
Good to see.
All 5 points, courtesy of Keenan.
Drive the lane, stripped in the air was V-Jack. Leominster in transition. Back up floor. Long 2 for Keenan, and down it goes. 7-3 Leominster's lead. 6:15 to play here in quarter one, and Coach Giugio's got to be thinking a possibility of a timeout, depending how this exchange of action goes. The flow inside, it's Johnson, working closely on Bello. Down low, Gigiopoulos throws it down low, and a whistle for a double dribble is blown against Law. 6:04 to play here in quarter one. Leominster with the 7-3 lead. And right on cue, there's the timeout on the floor, taken by head coach Tony Giugio of the 9-2 Warriors. Tough start, just about 2 minutes into this one. Find themselves in a 7-3 hole.
And Bill Thomas, one of the things that you have to think, obviously, if you're taking a look at the records, Coach Giugio probably very confident in his team with a winning record, as we are seeing. The problem becomes if your team knows that they're going up against a 1-7 record, coming out strong could be difficult. And we've seen some of the best teams in Central Massachusetts really lay eggs in the first quarter. And right now, I think, Todd, as you said, an apropos time to take a timeout, stem the tide quickly and say, hey, listen, this isn't our team. Let's go. Let's kick this into high gear. If you're Leominster and you're Coach Rusty Frederick, number one, you're patting Keenan on the back and saying, hey, good on you, kid.
Good start.
And keep it up.
I mean, we wondered if somebody was going to step up, and you never know who it's going to be some nights. But I think you're right, Todd and Kate. You never know what that fast start's going to bring to the rest of the game, and good timeout by the Tantasqua coach just to slow things down, pull his girls together, do a little reset.
You're absolutely right. Todd right now is doing some due diligence of his own, trying to find out who's who right now on
I look like I'm doing
Leominster Blue
Sudoku puzzles over here, crossing things out and drawing numbers on.
10
At this point, we're getting close. I think I've gotten almost everybody. Thankfully, unlike football, you can
know
see
who they
faces
are.
here.
Yeah.
Swing this one around. This is Boulay. Boulay with the crossover. Foul line, kick back Pompey. Pompey drives, gets a little screen from Boulay. Roll off, goes cross court, skip Nevard. Drives with 9 to shoot. Offensive foul is whistled, and the ball back to Tantasqua.
Tough call right there, a lot of traffic.
That'll end up being her first team first for the Blue Devils. Todd, you're going to have to redo my whole stat sheet.
I was going to say.
Good luck to you this week. Good on you, buddy.
Down floor, Lorenz gets the bounce pass. There is a whistle, and Nevard gets whistled for 2 quick fouls in less than 30 seconds of playing time. She went from no fouls to 2 fouls, and all of a sudden now, Coach Frederick's got to be wondering, do I need to make a change here with Nevard on the floor?
Yeah, you don't want her picking up a 3rd foul this early in the game.
Oh, boy.
Bello tried to reach in, and this one gets dribbled toward the sideline, and Law crossed the boundary line in front of the Leominster bench. The ball will go back to Leominster.
Well,
The
by the
strangest
defense over
whistle
there.
noise, by the way, that I've ever heard on a basketball court.
It sounded a little bit, like maybe something stuck. You know,
Yeah.
back in the day, and of course, these are now P-less whistles. You know, they don't have the little ball inside of the
sounds
whistle.
like it's missing
This
it.
one sounds like it's stuck
It does.
at this point. It used to be a problem when you get too much spit on the old whistle ball, as coaches and officials at home will tell you. That 3-pointer from Pompey is wide of the mark.
You know what I missed, though, gents? The hand whistle.
I never bought
There was a
into
hand
that.
whistle, by the way, in the JV matchup.
Missed the hand whistle. It was just fun to
Especially
to watch.
outside. I
Such
couldn't
a
get
novelty.
on the soccer pitch, and it just didn't match up.
Oh, you couldn't hear spit outside.
Cross-court
Couldn't hear
flash.
spit.
This is Gigiopoulos,
Block right
stripped
there.
in the air by Boulay. Up floor to Keenan, who runs into a tree named Vijak. Leominster able to maintain the basketball. Through the lane, Nivard, count that basket plus a foul.
She needed that. She's had trouble finishing. It's nice to see. Maybe the change in numbers, renewed confidence in the girls tonight. Hey, whatever it takes, the coach will tell you that, right, Kate?
Yes,
whatever
you're
it takes
absolutely
to
right.
bring the confidence level
Anything
up.
that brings the juju,
You're exactly
you do not. Johnson picks up her first team first for the Warriors.
Forsberg checks in wearing jersey number 15, replacing her former 23.
Yeah, you don't mess with a streak, Billy.
Free throw does not go. 9-3 Leominster's lead, but Leominster maintains a 2-for-1 opportunity. Meanwhile, waiting at the table, Nicole Kelly for Leominster was going to come in for Nivard on a make. Nivard playing with the 2 fouls on the floor. Forsberg has that one tapped away by Vijak. Nivard runs it down right along the timeline.
Nice job with her feet to stay there.
Cross court, Pompey, 7 to shoot, 4.5 to play here in quarter 1. Double clutch, Pompey, now 2 to shoot, tapped out of play, showing 1 second on the clock. They do not have tenths of seconds on the high school shot clock, so you're not entirely certain where you are, but I would say this is sub 1 second. About 4 tenths needed for a catch and shoot, remember.
Kelly in the game now, wearing 14.
Yeah, mismarked that one on my chart earlier.
Way to go, big guy.
The inbound for Bello, hangs on to this one, and even with the delay in the shot clock, it's a violation, and the ball goes back to Tantasqua. Coach Rusty Frederick of Leominster making the point to Frankie Bello, you got to be court aware of where that shot clock is.
Got to be quicker than that.
Indeed. Up floor, the bounce feed for Lorenz.
You know, the rest of the teammates got to help her out with that too, though. I heard a quiet team right there.
Law gets the dribble entry, then a little bounce, turnaround over the top of Bello, bangs it off glass, closes the Leominster lead to 4, halfway through this first quarter.
Law, one of those consistent double-digit scorers for Tantasqua.
Pompey, the drive-in hook, that one goes over everything, out of a pack, deflected. They say off of Tantasqua. Leominster keeps the basketball, 17 to shoot.
Oh.
Keenan struggling to hold that pivot foot. She was able to do so. Find the inbound for Pompey.
I thought she was going to fire at Kelly, and Kelly wasn't looking.
Forsberg tried the entry for Bello, not there. Forsberg gets run over in transition, but she had moving feet. Scrambles back into the play, though, and makes the pick.
Saw that coming from behind. Nice hustle.
Up floor finds Keenan. Too strong, that one won't go. Forsberg's got another rebound for Leominster. This is Kelly. Kelly. Cross through Pompey, sets up a Keenan 3 from the left. Splash!
She hits again.
Tell you, some newfound aggressiveness by the Blue Devils.
And a pick for Bello in transition on the full court pressure, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I'm seeing from the girls tonight.
Kelly drives that baseline, and they call the push as she crossed the out-of-bounds line. Foul will go against Tantasqua.
An aggressiveness that we haven't seen in past few games that we've covered the girls.
That foul is going to be on Vijak, her first, team second for Tantasqua.
Looking for the inbound. Forsberg asks for the ball. It's wide open. 3! And she buries it. Great court awareness by Forsberg and a great 2-minute exchange for her out on the floor.
Seems like the communication on the Blue Devils' end of the floor improved over what we've seen in the last few weeks.
Cross-court skip is long of the mark. Lizzie Thompson was the intended receiver of sorts, and this one ends up in the front row.
Right now, if you're Coach Giugio for the Warriors, you are probably in a little bit of a panic mode, trying not to show it. This is not the start that you expected if you looked at the records going into this one.
Another basket away from another timeout, I think, too.
Kelly finds Keenan, drives to the left wing, gave up the dribble.
Getting a little bump.
Said she lost possession, and then Kelly gets hip checked off the play into the paint. 2:37 to play here in quarter 1. 10-point lead for Leominster at 15-5.
That'll give you a little confidence. Nivard checking back in with 2
Playing
fouls.
with 2 fouls. Yeah, Bello goes to the bench for her first spell. Leominster wearing these new numerically diverse tops and bottoms, home white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in royal blue. They are a much more athletic, much more female athletic friendly cut. Which is impressive, actually, to say out on the floor. And by the way, sporting the Jumpman. These are Air Jordan uniforms.
Air Jordan uniforms. Boys are going to be jealous.
I was going to say. Players also sporting some new royal blue kicks on some of them.
This fashion report brought to you by Todd Robbins.
Absolutely. Drive to the lane. Foul is whistled against Kelly. Not able to finish the lay-in is Reno, but she's got 2 shots coming from the line.
That'll be Kelly's first, team third for the Blue Devils.
2:14 to play here in quarter one. Every point matters right now if you're wearing green and gold. First one won't go, Bill Thomas.
Tantasqua's bench surprisingly quiet over there. Coach is just
I think probably everybody over there is in
by.
shock right now. But the iron not kind on either side right now from the free throw line.
Reno's second will go, so 1 of 2 on the trip. Evens up the score on her side of things. It's 15-6, 2:14 to play here in quarter one. Personnel swaps. Juliana Pompey going to head to the bench for her first rest of the night. This is Keenan working on Lorenz. Gave up the basketball. Cross-court fine. Put it in the hands of Nevard. Out for Kelly. 3 away. Back rim, no. Rebound down for Lorenz. And Lorenz will dribble it out of trouble, showing that senior presence on the floor. You could see her wanting to unleash that energy player that Coach Giugio referred to in that article prior to the season in the Telegram. Having to maintain a little bit of position discipline and maybe settle her teammates. Gets the pass back in the corner and forces the grab with the hard baseline drive. It'll be a foul on the floor, and Tantasqua will keep the basketball at a fresh 30. Mia Keenan will get her first rest of the night. Appears to be Shannon Smith defending the inbound and trying to deny the basketball, wearing 42 instead of her former 22. Up floor, put it in the hands of Forsberg. Bounce back for Smith, able to corral it over her shoulder, gets it to Boulay. The shot is short. Forsberg crash, tapped the rebound, found Smith, and a held ball is the call. Tight in that left corner. Alternate possession favors the Warriors. 1:19 to play here in quarter one. Bounce into the middle of that full court pressure. Leominster's got another steal.
Love the pressure right there. We talked about that early pregame. Pressure helps.
Nevard on the cross court from Forsberg. Drives the lane. Foul called. It is on the floor. Leominster a fresh 30 and the basketball. 1:10 to play here in the first quarter.
You know, I think Todd and Kate, when you bother that inbounds, it just breaks the rhythm up a little bit when it comes to bringing the ball up court, getting in your set offense. Good job by Leominster defense.
Boulay drops it off for Kelly. Now to Forsberg. Forsberg snaps in the corner. Smith a wide open 3. Caught the side of the backboard, but it stayed in play. In transition, the outlet finds its way to Lorenz, drives the lane and rattles it home. And all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a 7-point basketball game. Here's the drive for Forsberg. That shot was behind the support, but they say touched by Tantasqua. Leominster will keep the basketball.
Block on the baseline there, kind of bailed out the Leominster player, got a little bit too far into the basket. Stays on Leominster's side.
Into the corner. Smith throws up a 3 and delivers.
Number of threes by the girls tonight. That's the third one, Kate, possibly, maybe 4.
It is the 4th.
And Leominster's lead is 10 once again at 18-8. Final 30 seconds here. Shot clock is about a 3-second differential. Shot is wide of the mark. Kelly got herself a rebound, and she's on her way back down floor. Shot clock off. She'll drop it off for Nevard. Double clutch, too hard off the window. Inside the turnaround, grabbed and possessed, moving up floor in the hands of Vijek, then finds Lorenz. Into the corner. Final 5 seconds here. 3 away, will miss the mark. Nevard the rebound, and the whistle goes off for the reach-in foul on Reno with a 2.5 left here in quarter one.
That's a good foul. That's a foul to give right there. Didn't really need to, but really no harm. At least not yet.
Reno picks up her first, team 5th. Sorry, Billy.
No, it's
That's
all right.
okay.
That was me. Keeps them in transition too quickly.
Sorry.
I knew you wouldn't be.
No.
Nevard guns this one down floor, finds Bello. This one's good if it goes! And
nice.
it's too hard off the window. But everything otherwise has come up blue and white in quarter one. Leominster with an 18-8 lead over Tantasqua through one quarter here inside the gym at Leominster High School.
I have to say I love the aggressiveness by the Lady Blue Devils on both ends of the court tonight. Kind of unexpected. We haven't really seen that, but I guess the uniform number changes have done some good. Let's give credit where credit is due.
They've caused all sorts of consternation. That means my starting lineups, Bill Thomas,
all
wrong.
Maybe it confused the defense about who they're supposed to guard, too. They might have been using, picture defense, and all of a sudden the girls don't look the same now as they did in the pictures. Who knows?
Bill Thomas believes in vision. Kate will give us her Chris Collinsworth slide and slide in here and tell us through one quarter, Kate, an 18-8 Leominster lead. What stands out on the stat sheet?
Right now, Miss Keenan stands out on the stat sheet with a team-high 10 first quarter points for the Lady Blue Devils. We also have scoring contributions by Smith and Forsberg. They both had threes from the field. Nevard right now with 2 points of her own. On Tantasqua's side of the ball, Lorenz has a team-high 5 points on the evening, Law with 2. Right now, it's that 10-point differential, which has just kind of been staggering, stunning, which is, I mean, if you're wearing blue and white, that's fantastic. If you're Coach Giugio over there, you need to get some spark going out of your team. And right now, Leominster's offense has exploded, Bill Thomas. Right now, what are they on track for? 18 times 4.
I speculated pregame. Is somebody going to step up and find double figures tonight? Didn't take long for that to happen.
I guess they heard you.
It did not.
At least Keenan did.
Leominster controls the basketball as we begin quarter number 2. This is Boulay. Finds Nevard in that right corner. Cross court, find Pompey back top of the key. Into the corner, find Kelly. Kelly throws on the break, swing it back Pompey. Now to Bellows, straight away. Into the corner, Nevard, 10 to shoot. Now back to Pompey. Over to Boulay, 6 to shoot. Boulay trying to hang on to the handle. Now to Bellow, 3 to shoot. Leominster finds Nevard, throws it up, got the basket support for the reset. Loose basketball, and it is a walk, and the ball will go back to Leominster. Vijak does a great job to get on the floor and pick up the loose ball, but she started flailing around a little bit, and that's a walk.
Call that a roll.
Indeed.
Marwa
she wasn't on her feet.
Bill Thomas says it wasn't a walk, it was a roll.
It was a roll. Good defense by Tantasqua, though, shutting them out for that shot clock.
35 seconds into this one, and the quick pick. Up floor. There's Tantasqua in transition. It's Vijak. Corner Lorenz. Open 3 from the right side. A little bank, but not able to finish. Johnson corrals the rebound. Creates space. Jumper in the lane will go. Into double digits go the Warriors.
Good job. Good awareness right there. Knew right where she was when she turned around. Didn't panic.
Boulay swings it into the hands of Kelly. Kelly to the foul line. Bello. Into the corner. The drive, Boulay. Fires up a 3, off the mark. Kelly crashes, comes away with the rebound. Leominster another opportunity, 10 to shoot still. Sabina Marwa into the game. And that was in and out of her hands, out of play. Marwa sporting the white headband to go with the new uniform and the platinum blonde to go with it.
Oh, she's always got it on point.
Absolutely. Up floor, this is Vijak. Drops it to the low block Law. Back and forth, they play catch with Reno. Entry pass looking for Johnson. Juggles the basketball. It was tipped by Kelly, and Pompey picks up the loose ball. Now Marwa sets up a Pompey 3, and it falls. 21-10 is Leominster's lead, and a great job by Pompey to hold on to that line. The 5th three-pointer of the night for the blue and white. The interior pass, it's Johnson into a triple team. Has to go back out for Reno. Finds Lorenz. Lorenz tiptoes through the defense, throws up an underhand shot, and it will not fall. And Marwa breaks out on the run. She picks up the loose ball all the way to the rim, and she will finish.
Good job right there, getting herself under control, regaining that dribble.
Leominster's lead is 13. 5:40 to play here in the second. Some tough defense, and that one gets knocked out of play. Tantasqua will keep the basketball. If you had Leominster prior to the game with a 13-point lead, run on down to your local variety and play the lotto, because I don't think anybody sitting in this courtside position had that as a possibility tonight.
And one of the things that people are probably screaming at their smart-enabled device at us is, listen, you're talking about different divisions. You're talking about different leagues. You know,
sure.
There were some common opponents.
And they've suffered the same fate.
And they've suffered the same fate to both of their common opponents.
Millbury and Hopedale, two top teams, both lost.
It may be, if you take records and put them aside and you look at those two common opponents, these two teams may be more evenly matched than we might have thought.
Kate likes the transitive property of sports, and so do I. 5 1/4 left here in quarter 2, 23-10. It's Leominster's lead. Nevard to the lane. No thank you, says Law. And the ball is out of play. Last touched by Nevard, and the basketball will go back to Tantasqua. And Coach Giugio says this is a good time for a conversation. Let's take the timeout and set up our full court offense. 5:09 to play here in the second. A 23-10 Leominster advantage. Bill Thomas, you want to weigh in on a 13-point advantage for Leominster?
Well, I have to say that if you're a Tantasqua fan, you're probably kind of surprised. And in that 8-point first quarter, I don't have all their quarter scores, but probably one of the lowest quarter scores they've had all season. But, you know, sometimes you get on a roll. And, Kate, to expand on your thought about playing down a division or up a division, basketball is probably the easiest one to match up divisions up or down, because all it takes is a couple of talented players, a couple of good support players, and then 2 or 3 bench players. You don't need 15 or 20 talented players like you need for a baseball team or a football team, soccer team. A couple of talented players, a couple of good role players, a couple of bench players, and you got a team. I don't care what division you're playing in. I think, you know, we're seeing that tonight, kind of. You know, Tantasqua, I think they're not out of this game by any means, but, you know, I expect them to make a game out of this before the night's over.
And as you said, Bill Thomas, this veteran presence that Tantasqua has, Coach Giugio can lean on that veteran presence, because you're seeing no panic yet on this team. And that I think is attributed to, number one, you know, potentially how Coach Giugio is dealing with it, but also leaning on the veterans who are incredibly talented and have been in these types of situations to keep their cool.
On the inbound, there is a whistle, ball knocked, and it is a push, is going to be the call on the floor. There's a couple quick horns for a substitution.
No, that's going to be on Johnson, and she's going to pick up her third. It's going to be team 5th.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's got
No, check that back there, Kate. It was Nevard whistle for the
Nevard,
foul.
So that's
her
her
third.
I'm confused on the numbers now.
I was going to say,
Like,
Nevard's third.
33?
We're in Larry Bird's 33 for those following along at home. Fouls are 5 aside on the floor, no matter how you look at it.
Who are you?
I was going to say, no doubt about it. Who are you?
Who are you? My bad, everybody.
Wooten with the first touch, finds Lorenz to the left side. 3 is long on the mark. Loose basketball being run down, picked up on the break by Keenan. Keenan doesn't have the numbers, but she bounces across the baseline, banged it off of Lorenz, and Leominster will keep the basketball with 27 to shoot.
You can't tell a player without a program.
Go ahead, Kate, go ahead.
No, I'm done. That was it. Can't tell a player without a program.
It's just the continued aggressiveness of Leominster on both ends of the court. I think that's made the difference tonight so
You're
far.
absolutely right, Bill Thomas.
And I'm surprised Tantasqua hasn't changed it up, especially on inbounds, after made baskets and stop pressing more up court.
Marwa bounces the entry, puts it in the hands of Pompey, gets tied up with the ball down around her waist, and on the alternate possession, it's Warrior basketball. 4:24 to play here in quarter 2, a 23-10 Leominster advantage.
Coach Giugio's getting fired up on the bench now. It's the first time we've seen significant emotion coming out of him on the bench. He's starting to get fired up now.
Cross court, bounce in the lane. Lorenz does a great job to find Hannah Johnson. The junior finishes at the rim.
First points for Tantasqua in the second quarter.
Halfway through this second quarter, not a stat that favors their success. Keenan will miss the 3. It's a one-shot possession. Back down floor comes the Warriors.
Scoring in this quarter way down.
Lorenz to Hannah Johnson. Jumper from the left wing. Foul on the rebounding action. And they whistle it against 22, it looks like, on the floor.
That's right, Giannopoulos.
The freshman picks up her first.
It'll be team 6th for Tantasqua.
Also noting over on the Leominster bench as I play my Connect 4 here and try to figure out who everybody is and what number they're wearing. Kylie Cudahy not in uniform tonight for Leominster. I also do not see her over on the bench. She has been dogged by some injuries. This one set up a 3 in the right corner for Forsberg. 3 missed. Tie up on the rebounding action, and the alternate possession belongs to Leominster.
You know, just to expand on your scoring point, Kate, Leominster not exactly lighting up the scoreboard here in the second quarter
No, sir.
either.
No, sir.
I think that's,
5 points.
I was going to say 5-2.
Yep, 5-2. Yeah, scoring way down in this quarter.
The drive, the runner thrown by Kelly, missed everything. Reno looks up floor in transition, and it's long on the mark. Ball will go back to Leominster on the unforced error.
I'm kind of surprised.
Go ahead, Billy.
I'm kind of surprised Tantasqua is not pressing more. early on. They're kind of laying back on defense.
In the corner, this one is juggled by Forsberg, and they say Wotan reached in, so the junior gets billed for a foul.
That's number 7.
And that's going to create a different situation when it comes to fouls for the rest of the half.
Bonus the rest of the way for Leominster for the remaining 3:18 of this first half of action. Forsberg goes to the line. 1 plus a bonus opportunity. Wotan will step out on this one. Forsberg hits a lot of iron, but it doesn't finish. A rebound is for Pompey. Keenan claps to the basketball, drives to the foul line, pull up in the lane, and that one goes for 2.
She has been good all night.
And I think the Lady Blue Devils are just showing more aggressive confidence on the offensive end, and a couple of baskets really helped that out mentally.
And there's a word, Bill Thomas, that I haven't been able to use all year long in reference to this team. It's an I word, intensity.
Yes, I agree.
Drive to the baseline, trapped along there, but there is a body-up foul call, and Coach Rusty Frederick authoritatively places the basketball down so it can be returned to play and pleads his case. Wearing, by the way, the French cuff sleeves. Notice that. Got the interior color. Good look over there on Coach Frederick on the bench. Got that Columbia blue look. Drive the lane. That one doesn't go for Giadopoulos. Ends up in the lane for Lorenz. The runner doesn't fall. Tap back for Law. Law's shot missed the mark. Battle for the basketball, tipped off of Law, ends up in the hands of Boulay accidentally, and here we go back down floor. It's Pompey, tries the runner from the left, doesn't go. Battle for the rebound was same team inside. It was Johnson and Lorenz. They sort things out, and in transition, here come the Warriors. Spin through the lane, it's Lorenz. Little swim move, and they say she walked with it. Picked up the pivot.
Spin and a pick.
Tough call there. Was a nice move, Bill Thomas.
Expand upon your fashion choices. Coach Fredericks can't change his uniform number, but to bring a different style shirt to the game.
God, the two of you.
Hey, look for anything you can. Find a storyline.
That's what I'm seeing.
Keenan up floor. Finds Kelly from the left wing. Runner doesn't go. Rebound down in the hands of Lorenz. Found her way to that right block and was unchallenged.
I'm gonna find the two of you reading Vogue magazine.
Into the lane. This is Law from the inside back out. Finds her way for a 3-point bucket. Good. And that was Giadopoulos who found her way open.
Tantasqua picking the pressure up a little bit.
Boulay gets the feed from Keenan. 3 short off the front of the rim. Rebound for Giadopoulos. Final 90 seconds here before halftime. Near side, Lorenz's pass goes through the hands and then to the floor. Tie up, alternate possession is Leominster basketball. But they reverse the arrow and they say it's Tantasqua basketball.
Yeah, I think Leominster had a rebound possession tie up down here a couple of trips ago. I think the arrow didn't get switched. I think they got it right.
83 seconds left here in quarter 2. 25-15. Leominster holding on to a 10-point advantage. Little up fake, then the drive. This is Thompson. Got stripped. Loose basketball to the floor. Bello comes out with it. Down toward a minute left here in the second, and Bello gets bumped, picks up the pivot foot, and gets called for the walk.
Good defense right there, though. I didn't catch the number, but it was either going to be a walk or an offensive foul, though. Good defense by Tantasqua.
Final 60 seconds here of the first half. Lorenz with the crossover. Forsberg stayed with her. Feed V-Jack, right corner 3. Does not go. And the rebound down for Pompey.
Better rebounding tonight by the Leominster Lady Blue Devils, too. Not a lot of second chances for Tantasqua.
Forsberg launches up a 3 of her own for the left. Missed everything. And it's a Tantasqua transition. Spin through the lane. Up fake comes the shot. Lorenz with the scoop and score.
She's tried that 3 different ways in this quarter, and it finally hit for her.
25-17, sometimes it's all it takes. Differential is 6 seconds, shot clock to game clock. Caldwell, her first action tonight, wearing her usual deuce. Gets the basketball back from Bello. 10 to shoot, 16 left here in the second quarter. Bello on the low left block, step across shot, foul on the shot sends Bello to the line for 2. Will stop the shot clock, 12 seconds flat left here before halftime.
I'd like to see a little more of that from Bello. Hands up, hold that ball up, especially game like tonight. She's, I think, the tallest girl on the court. Just hold that ball up and make that pivot move. Nice try right there, and she gets herself to the foul line.
Bellows first from the line is short of the mark. It's a shooter substitution. Now here comes another. So Sabina Marwa off the bench, replacing Forsberg. Perhaps a little defense for offense in this circumstance. Bellows, second will fall, and Leominster opens that lead to 26-17, last 12 seconds before halftime. And here comes full court pressure from Coach Rusty Frederick. The inbound. It's Vijak. Back for Thompson. Thompson caught in a double team at the timeline. Gets it across just before that new 10-second backcourt. Come to the wing on the left. Feed back up for Thompson through her hands, and the Warriors will not get off a shot before halftime. Full court pressure for Leominster. That is the story of the first half, and right now it is working out in significant fashion for the blue and white. Halftime score here from the gym at Leominster High School. Blue Devils 26, Warriors 17. Leominster on top of Tantasqua on this Wednesday night here on RFM. Great to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you coming up at the half. Kate will look over those first half stats, bring you a full update on all the numbers before we continue with second half action. Bill Thomas, before we move to our halftime, your thoughts on this 26-17 first half and the full court pressure from Leominster?
Well, I speculated, I'm not going to toot my horn too much, but they needed to change things up. I might have been in the pregame huddle and heard what they were going to do, but I felt like I was, because I think that full court pressure, taking some time off the clock, throw a little chaos into that initial 5 to 10 seconds of ball possession has really changed things on the offensive end for Tantasqua. Not as much time to make that extra pass, look for that open girl underneath, work that weak side. I think that's all playing in. And we saw Tantasqua throw a little more pressure at the Blue Devils there as that half wore down. Wouldn't be surprised to see them change up and maybe come out with a little more pressure, try to take some clock away on the offensive end on the Lady Blue Devils and limit their possessions here. But I can't say enough about the great first half the Lady Blue Devils have had on both ends of the court. I'm sure when we start talking stats, Kate's going to bear that out.
And Bill Thomas, it's going to force Tantasqua to have to play full court pressure or end-to-end basketball, and we've talked about this throughout the year. There haven't been a lot of sunshiny spots when you talk about this girls team from Leominster. But one thing that we have pointed to over and over and over again is their cardiovascular ability, their ability to have legs no matter what's going on, how deep the score has gone, the fact that they were outrunning and outperforming their opposition cardio-wise, even if they were losing basketball games. And right now, the way this situation has developed, it certainly looks like that cardio is going to play to their advantage.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Blue Devils suffer from a lack of hustle. But I think there's a difference between controlled aggressiveness and just wasted hustle.
Certainly.
And I think we've seen some of that from the Lady Blue Devils, some chaotic running around in prior games, not really playing defense, but kind of just chasing the ball around. We're not seeing that tonight. We're seeing some good hands-up defense, interior defense, controlling the boards, not a lot of second chances for Tantasqua tonight, and that's been a problem for the Lady Blue Devils all season, the second and third opportunities for the opposition. So they're finding a way to put a complete game together tonight, and no better time against this very talented Tantasqua team. We still got a second half to play, and I'm sure there'll be some adjustments from those Warriors when they come out for that second half.
Halftime score from Leominster tonight. It's Leominster 26 and Tantasqua 17. We step aside. Coverage in action continues in a matter of moments. Kate's got your first half recap coming up when we reconvene. Hang with us right here. This is RFM. Halftime inside the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster with a surprise 26-17 halftime lead in this girls basketball action. Two teams coming back out on the floor to warm up. And of course, it is rivalry week here on RFM. Leominster and Fitchburg comes your way this Friday night. That's January the 28th. It's boys basketball right here at the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster and Fitchburg. 6:45 is our pregame here on RFM with a 7 o'clock tip-off. We've got exclusive radio coverage for you on our radio home, the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. Radio coverage for you on that game on Friday night begins at 6:35. We'll have that action for you. Leominster TV will be along with us as well. So many ways to participate with that action coming up on Friday night. Leominster and Fitchburg boys basketball action. The rivalry clash hits the hardwood coming up this Friday night. Tension right back here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Girls basketball, Leominster with a 26-17 halftime lead as we welcome you back to our courtside broadcast position. Great to have you along with us here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here at the half here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Through one half of play, Leominster with the lead, and not just a little lead, a lead that has been sustained throughout this first half of action. It's keyed off of that full court pressure. They've shown the stamina and the ability to hang in there. Can Tantasqua make the adjustments? We'll hear Bill Thomas's mid-game adjustments in a moment, but first, Kate Robbins walks us through the first half stats.
I certainly will. Let's take a look first at the Tantasqua Warriors side of the ball. Team totals first. 17 points on the evening in the first half. They shot 1 of 2 from the line, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 12 turnovers for the Warriors in the first half. Individual notable statistic, Lorenz with a team-high 9 points, Reno with 1, Giannopoulos with 3, Law with 2, and Johnson with 2 as well. Now if we take a look at the Blue Devils side of the ball, 26 points right now. They have that 9-point lead. Surprising, as you said, 9-point lead here in this one. They've shot 2 of 3 from the line. Of course, I didn't count my rebounds here, but 10 rebounds, 3 steals, 9 turnovers. Thank goodness I can do that quickly. And right now, the big stat of the moment, Leominster right now with scoring contributions from 7 different Lady Blue Devils right now. That's kind of huge. We talk about it a lot in the boys game about how competitive and how much more successful teams are when they get their bench players involved. Leominster right now doing a good job of that, obviously, as well. Maddie Keenan's 10 first quarter points of her 12 points. Absolutely huge for Leominster. The only thing that I would say is that neither team really took advantage of that second quarter of action to really put their stamp on the game. I think it was a phenomenal opportunity for Tantasqua to get back into this ball game because Leominster's scoring was depressed quite a bit in the second quarter. Tantasqua doesn't take advantage, Leominster doesn't take advantage. We're kind of at a stalemate.
And second half action is underway. Mia Keenan's 12 points. Kate, was it 12 first half points? An impressive.
Did I call her Maddie?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No worries. And right out of the chute, here comes Leominster with a 2-point lay-in out of the gates. Bill Thomas, do you happen to catch who laid that one in?
No,
I'll get it right here. I got the replay.
Well, thank you, Kate.
Watch it real quick.
See what I say?
It was in the traffic.
It was Bello.
And Bello opens the scoring here in the second half. 30 seconds gone by here in the third. 28-17 Leominster's lead. And here's Tantasqua with the basketball. This is V-Jack. Fires up a long 3, does not go. Followed her own rebound, missed that one. Ball bounced out to Maggie Johnson, missed that one as well. Fourth opportunity on the possession, does not go. And then there's a tie-up as Bello gets the rebound, and the alternate possession belongs to Tantasqua.
And I was giving the Lady Blue Devils credit, controlling the boards, gave up 4 offensive rebounds right there.
Right out of the chute, Bill Thomas. Not a great start, and
luckily, Tantasqua not finding a way to put it back in.
Coach Rusty Frederick quickly
timeout.
spends a timeout. 7:14 to play here in the third quarter. Just 45 seconds gone
Must
by.
have seen an adjustment that he didn't talk to the girls about.
28-17, or he definitely didn't like what he saw on those offensive boards. Well, Bill Thomas, a chance to talk about your mid-game adjustments here in the early going of this third quarter, and, well, a lot more offensive rebounds. With more opportunities come more points for Tantasqua.
Well, I think that's what Tantasqua's got to do. Find a way, if they're not making baskets, find a way to get some offensive putbacks. But I think Tantasqua just needs to be more aggressive, especially on the defensive end. They've been laying back, and Kate can attest to it. 6 3-pointers for the Lady Blue Devils in that first half. That's way too many. and I'm sure they talked about that, maybe extending the defense a little bit more and be more aggressive. That'll lead to more opportunities on the offensive end for Tantasqua. Also, I think they got to find a way to get Law involved. She's, I think, only had 2 points in the first quarter, first half, and she's typically a double-digit scorer.
Coach said of her before the season, if you weren't with us off the top, she has a serious presence to Sophie Law that demands respect, and right now been just a little too far out of the action for the Warriors. Shot missed on that opportunity, crossed the end line, ball back to Leominster. We're a minute gone by here in the third. It's 28-17. Inside Forsberg, found down low Bello. The turnaround shot missed everything, and the ball back to Tantasqua. Kate, note also though, Coach Rusty Frederick having to spend Leominster's first time out here in the second half as there is a traveling violation and the ball will go back to Leominster. Right now, having to spend that kind of an early timeout makes you wonder, where did the conversation go at halftime? Did you spend a little too much time emphasizing the positive and not preparing for the counterpunch that was going to come in the second?
I mean, the only other thing that I might note is that Tantasqua may have made an adjustment that Coach Frederick wasn't necessarily keying off of in his halftime speech to the girls. So might be something that he saw right off the bat and wanted to make sure that they knew about. He had 5 timeouts. It wasn't as if he used any in the first half, so he's got plenty of timeouts to give.
Pompey's three does not go. Followed her own shot, got the rebound. There was a Bello opportunity there. That one didn't go. And a third opportunity on the possession for Leominster. This was Keenan. Her three doesn't go. Now a battle to the floor. Johnson comes up with it. Keenan crashes to the floor, and she is called for fouling Johnson, coming up and under. The ball will go back to Tantasqua.
She got called for a cut block there.
It's
came in low.
Chop block came in down low there, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, another quick foul right here, too, from behind the play.
It looked like Forsberg on the action. Yeah. And sometimes, Bill Thomas, you over-pursue a little bit, so Forsberg's got to step out, and Nicole Kelly will rejoin the fray. And all of a sudden, what was a very exciting first half for Leominster feels like a quagmire here in the third quarter.
2 quick fouls, too, here, 2 minutes in.
Lorenz comes to the near side. Entry finds Law. Law goes inside, back out to Vijak, top of the key. Swing come near side. This is Giannopoulos. Creates some space using the forearm. The jumper doesn't go for the right wing. Johnson's putback doesn't go. She's fouled in the act of shooting. Johnson's going to the line to shoot too. Coach Frederick is apoplectic because he saw that forearm come out to create some space and ward off the defender.
I think we saw it a little better over here, too. He had a great look, and Coach Frederick's got a good point right there.
5:43 to play here in the third. A 28-17 Leominster lead. Maggie Johnson, the freshman, at the line.
Who's 4 now for Leominster?
And that one does not go.
Boulay.
It's Taylor Boulay.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Her first. Team third.
It's kind of like driving on the highways now where there's a new exit sign and then they say formally exit this.
Number, whatever.
They
the
should
problem
have
with
little
game jerseys, they don't tell you that.
Put their old number in small print next to the new number. We'll be all set.
Or somebody sends the numbers to us. I mean,
You're
would have had
asking for way too much.
All the charts would have been right, Bill Thomas. I do my homework before the games. That's all I can say.
All right.
Law, inbound for Johnson. Bounce
nice
on the
feed.
crashing. Giannopoulos finishes at the rim.
Good look right there, crashing the lane.
And Bill Thomas, one of the things that's been most impressive in this third quarter.
There we are.
And here's another steal opportunity.
Oh.
Doesn't go, and Law crashed for the loose ball, and shoulder block runs into Pompey.
Well, what is Tantasqua doing?
They-
Pressing off the inbounds like we talked about.
And one of the things that we've been seeing, a lack of panic on Tantasqua. Even though there was a significant 9-point lead for Leominster in the first half, this veteran-laden team has not panicked, and they're starting to make some progress.
Kelly shot stripped out of her hands. Down floor, Lorenz presses the tempo. Vijak can't finish at the rim. Bello comes up with the ball. Transition. Kelly on the outlet. Kelly skids. Avoided a walk call, missed her shot, rebound put up, doesn't go. Pompey, third opportunity, also doesn't reach above head height. It's deflected out of play by Tantasqua, and Leominster keeps the basketball with 27 to shoot.
A lot of action. No points going up on the board, though.
Not many, that's for sure.
And we've reached the stage of the basketball game where Leominster has struggled in the past, and that is the chaos factor. When all of a sudden the half-court discipline breaks down, or the full-court defense breaks down, all of a sudden Leominster finds themselves running around. Will they be able to settle themselves back in? Keenan, the drive, high off the window, doesn't go. Battle through the hands of Bello, comes up to Reno, and Reno's got it in transition. Reno Finds Giadopoulos. Short off the front of the rim, out of play. Right back to Leominster goes the basketball.
Leominster continues to nurse this lead, 9 right now.
That is the one solace they have, Bill Thomas. It has been an ugly third quarter thus far, and it has not affected them on the scoreboard.
Kind of mirrors that second quarter.
Indeed it does.
Kelly's pull-up doesn't go. Rebound, and Lorenz dribbles it out of trouble. Lorenz, scoop shot.
And there it is.
Does not fall.
She likes that.
Loves that shot.
And Pompey juggled it out of play. Tantasqua keeps the basketball. Fresh 30, 4:31 to play here in the third. Whistles, and Vijak will return to the fray. She got just a moment for a breather, as now she'll come in and spell Lorenz. And it's mostly, it looks like, so that Coach Tony Giugio can talk to Lorenz and get a report from out on the floor. Giadopoulos goes back, top of the key, Vijak. Goes off the left side, jumper for Wotan, doesn't go. Too strong off rim, rebound for Kelly.
Even pressing the rebounds now, just anything to disrupt Leominster.
In the corner, this is a Boulay 3 that's long of the mark. Law the rebound, creates some space and outlets. Vijak drops it off to Giadopoulos, who has been the lone bright spot offensively, Kate. Giadopoulos, the freshman, has done what she's needed to keep Tantasqua in the basketball game.
Got the only Tantasqua points of the quarter.
Bounce to the inside. This is Law. Caught, swimmed around Bello. Nice space, hit the jumper from the right block. And all of a sudden, everybody's in the 20s. It's 28-21. Leominster's got 2 points here in the second half. Off there, of course, 26 they had in the first.
There's the one bucket you and I didn't see.
Back top of the key, 3.5 to play here in the third. Kelly, 3 from the left corner, short of the mark, rebound down in the hands of Law. She tries to outlet, it's picked by Boulay. Cross court skip, finds Keenan, tipped out of play, in a battle for the basketball by Reno. Leominster will keep the ball, but it is high pressure time for both teams, and we've got a ping pong match developing.
Now we're gonna see who has the horses, because both of these teams, you can see, starting to get gassed, and it's only the third. Not that I blame them.
3:18 to play here in the third. This is Kelly, top of the key. Comes cross court for Nevard, overhead, goes right back to Kelly on the cross court. Nevard flashes foul line, doesn't get the pass. Instead it's Pompey, runner slashing, right side of the lane, doesn't go. Got her own rebound, another opportunity, gets fouled this time, and Pompey's got 2 shots from the line.
Good aggressive move right there, followed up that shot. Nice offensive rebound, gets herself a couple of free throw opportunities.
That's Wotan's team second of the second half for the Warriors.
Pompey goes a little high arcer there, and that one thuds off the back of the rim and will not fall.
7-point deficit, I think, is the closest Tantasqua's been since the opening minutes of the first quarter. You know, Leominster ran out to that 15-5 early lead.
Pompey's second is perfect. 29-21, 3 minutes to play here in the third. Leominster still with only 3 points in this third quarter. Into the corner, Lorenz, low block find, cross court, puts it in the hands of Thompson, who drives and then replaces, goes back for Vijak. To Reno. Reno dribbles down the right side of the lane, got the space, and spun it off the front rim good.
Right back in this game are the Warriors right now.
6-point basketball game, and Nevard with the giveaway. The full court pressure from Vijak, the sophomore, closed off the baseline underneath Leominster's own defensive basket. And Coach Rusty Frederick quick to the bench. They will bring Forsberg in, Bello back out.
And right now, the last 2 quarters have essentially been an exercise in survival for these Lady Blue Devils. Right now, the
Lorenz,
Warriors
3 off the inbound, short of the mark, Kate.
No, the Warriors right now are starting to really build a little bit of momentum, and right now the Leominster team is just kind of trying to claw their way quarter by quarter right now.
Another big rebound on a missed shot. Third possession opportunity, third offensive rebound of the possession. This one got tipped away by Keenan. It allows the over and back. They're going to say no. Over and back, they say Lorenz lost the handle, and she does not object, so she had to have lost that one. It looked like Keenan had stepped up and tapped it away, which would allow, of course, the offense to go into the backcourt and bring it back over.
Exactly.
2:05 to play here in the third. This is Forsberg. And double dribble the call. Ball will go back to Tantasqua.
Now we're starting to see some mental errors.
Yeah, Lady Blue Devils are losing their aggressiveness too. They're reluctant out there. Nobody guiding them out on the three-point arc, but looking to pass rather than shoot. A little change of philosophy, trying to play protect basketball here rather than aggressive.
Yeah. Having been in a similar situation, you have, this thought of like quicksand. Now they're coming back and you can't really do anything right to fix it at the moment.
On the tie-up, alternate possession, Tantasqua. 1:50 to play here in the third. 6-point basketball game, 29-23. Leominster clutching a first-half lead. Lorenz lost the handle, but there is a foul whistled. This will be billed against Caldwell. Tantasqua, a fresh 30 in the basketball, left of their offensive basket. Go with a straight line stack here. They'll break. Reno finds Giannopoulos. Now back top of the key, Thompson. Thompson with the entry. Finds Johnson. Johnson to the rim. The lay-in is good. And it's a 4-point basketball game.
She likes working that right block. Got a number of baskets over there. Knows how to put it up.
Leominster still with only 3 points in this quarter.
Cross court, it's Kelly for Caldwell. A Forsberg three and buries it.
That helps.
A timely three-pointer. 80 seconds left here in the third. 32-25 Leominster's lead.
Only the second basket from the field for the Lady Blue Devils, though, in the half.
Drive down the lane, it's Reno, and Reno gets called for a foul on the floor. And there's an emphatic point at Nevard, who looks like she's going to get billed for the foul. It is her fourth.
In dangerous territory right now. Probably going to have to take a seat here.
And Boulay is up off the bench for Nevard, and all of a sudden Leominster gets a little bit smaller.
That'll be team fifth.
Pompey will be the lone post player, joined by 4 guards on the floor. 1:10 to play here in the third. Lorenz through the bear trap, got the shot up, and it did not fall. Looked like Lorenz actually got tripped as she stepped through that bear trap. Under a minute to play here in the third quarter.
Not often that you see the scoop shot as somebody's signature shot.
But she loves it. Got the soft hands too, been a little bit of a struggle to get it to fall. Into the corner. This is Boulay. Back for Pompey. 7 to shoot on the possession, and there's a giveaway on the inside. They were looking for Boulay. Vijak tapped it away. Down floor, it's Reno. Ahead to Lorenz. Wide open, Giannopoulos. Lines up a three, does not hit it. Johnson the rebound and putback, and the emphatic shove to get Forsberg off her back. Battle for the basketball. Now Forsberg and Johnson tied up. They say it is Tantasqua basketball. Frustration out on the floor.
Officials definitely let them scramble for those basketballs, those loose balls, keeping the whistles in their pocket.
Shot clock off, 22 3/10 left here in the third. And Hannah Johnson will get expelled by Coach Giuggio. The inbound. Giannopoulos, the screen for Lorenz. Inside, this is Maggie Johnson. And Maggie Johnson gets tied up. The ball goes flying, but the alternate possession belongs to Leominster.
A little frustration right there. Tantasqua continuing to press, looking to trap.
15 6/10 left here in the third. Caldwell for Forsberg. Snaps a pass for Kelly. Kelly gets the handle. 9 seconds left here in the third and gets knocked off the play by Law. Oh, they're going to bill it to the second defender. It was Vijak in the neighborhood. 8 seconds left here, just about 9. Actually, they just amended the clock. And now there's a horn that goes off.
Oh, extra substitution.
Yeah, make sure the substitution goes through the table. Now it says 8.4 left here in the third. Forsberg to an open Caldwell. Pulled it down, sent it to Marwa. 5 seconds left here in the third. Caldwell takes the three this time, short of the mark. Keenan tapped it on to keep it in play. And the ball will roll out of play at the conclusion of the third quarter.
We got fixing that over there. Somebody should let the officials know. Maybe the kids will fix it.
32-25. Leominster on top of Tantasqua at the half, but it is not because of a stellar third quarter performance. Tantasqua battled back into the basketball game, and prior to that Forsberg three, it felt kind of like the sand was running out of the hourglass on Leominster's lead. Then all of a sudden, Forsberg added a little more sand on Leominster's timetable. But Bill Thomas, with the way this has been leaking and leaking and leaking and leaking, Can Leominster withstand another flurry of full court pressure here in the fourth?
Well, I think the aggressiveness played into Tantasqua's hands in the third quarter, but Leominster, like you said, found a way to hold them off, only let them shave, 2 points off of that lead. I think it was a 9-point lead at the half or somewhere about there. But Leominster's got to feel fortunate. Things got very chaotic there in the middle of that third quarter. But Tantasqua had trouble finding a way to score points, though, as much trouble as Leominster have. I expect them to see him continue to press, be aggressive, both ends of the court. I want to see Leominster be a little more aggressive offensively.
Through 3 quarters here at the gym at Leominster High School. 32-25, Leominster on top. Kate, what did you see in that third quarter of action?
All right, well, Bill Thomas is correct. A 10-point lead after 1 quarter, a 9-point lead after the half, and now a 7-point lead after 3. That idea of this kind of like leaking away is a very apt analogy. Keenan also notably no points in the third quarter. She has a team-high 12, a 10-point first quarter, a 2-point second quarter, a 0-point third quarter for Keenan.
Leominster a little late out of their bench to begin this fourth and final quarter of regulation. Lorenz underhands through V-Jack and into the corner. It's Reno, stripped away by Caldwell. Marwa to the floor, comes up with the basketball. She outlets, finds Caldwell, who dribbles it to safety. Gets it to Marwa. The payoff on the left side will go.
That's the way. Don't look for that pass. Fire it up there. Don't let the defense get set.
30 seconds into this fourth quarter, and Leominster's got themselves quick 2. Head fake and drive. This is Law.
Boy.
Everybody to the floor
nice
as they clip
defense.
heels.
That's painful. She's been taking a beating all night.
Scrambles back into the play, finds Bello, does Law. Bello gets bodied up on by Law and walked with the basketball. That is a great sequence for Sophie Law. Goes down hard when she clips heels on the offensive end, picks herself back up and scrambles back into the play and makes the defensive stop that forces the turnover.
Now we got a timeout.
Yeah, Coach Tony Giugio spends a timeout here. 7:08 to play in regulation. A 34-25 Leominster lead.
I tell you, it's a tenuative lead. Is that the right
Tenuous.
word? Tenuous lead.
Yes.
Tenuous.
But Leominster's finding a way to hang on here. You just got to chip off and limit these possessions. It's hard to tell the girls use clock, because they're just looking to play basketball. They're not staring at the timepieces on the wall for the most part. So you just got to hope you get your share of baskets here, and you got to play good defense down the stretch. That's really what Leominster needs to do. Continue playing that tough defense, extended all the way out to the 3-point line.
You want tenuous basketball. It comes up this Friday night. It's January the 28th. It's Leominster and Fitchburg for you. We got the live play-by-play and video stream right here on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry via Facebook Live. Leominster and Fitchburg boys basketball for you right here on the hardwood inside the gym at Leominster High School. Radio action as well for that one, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com for the K-Zone Game of the Week. Countdown to tip-off on the K-Zone begins at 6:35 to lead you up to Leominster and Fitchburg here from the gym at Leominster High School. First of 2 meetings coming here in 2022. Out of the timeout here. 7 minutes left here in the fourth. Drive to the lane. It's Lorenz from a tough angle. Got the front rim, no. Pompey got herself the rebound. Up floor, the drive for Keenan. Called for the walk. She hooked that one up and over her shoulder.
Can only do that in the pros.
That whistle is driving me crazy. It just sounds sick.
It's a half a whistle.
It's like a duck with a cold.
I was going to say, the turnaround in the lane, shot off the mark.
I'm struggling.
And down it goes for Caldwell.
I can admit when I'm struggling.
I understand. It's kind of something out of the cartoons, right? I mean, you remember Daffy Duck or something would swallow a whistle and then it was like tweet, tweet. And it was that kind of really high pitch.
See, that's a whistle.
Sad, absolutely. And it's a held ball.
A whistle.
And it will go back to Leominster on the alternate possession. 6:23 to play here in the fourth. 34-25 Leominster's lead. As we re-adjudicate our childhood, we've had Sesame Street this year. Now we've hit the Looney Tunes. We've got them into the action. And a whistle along the baseline. Coach Rusty Frederick will spend a timeout, just his second of tonight's game. 6:23 to play here in the fourth. A 34-25 Leominster lead. Kate, halftime score was 26-17 if memory serves, correct?
Well done.
And now we think about that scoring rate versus where we are now. And once again, this is another game where the third quarter just evaporates the end-to-end excitement. And you got to, of course, push the question. What is it about the third quarter of basketball right now that's causing teams to struggle, no matter the gender, boys or girls?
Yeah, both teams had 8-point quarters, if my math is correct. And but you're right, we continue to see these single-point quarters. Usually it's just by one team, but to see both teams throw up a single-point quarter, very odd, but played right into Leominster's hands, I think, big picture. And they found a way to burn another 45 seconds off the clock since the last time we had a little break. They got to incrementally just figure out a way to take this clock down and limit possessions for Tantasqua.
Leominster had a 6-point third quarter. Tantasqua had the 8-point third quarter.
And now coming out of the timeout,
There's been only one basket from anybody in the fourth.
In the fourth quarter, it was 2 points for Leominster, if the memory serves. And it was Marwa's payoff off of a steal in
I
action.
feel like I'm in kitchen
So
Stadium.
since halftime, both teams have scored 8 points.
You got it.
Straight line stack. Here's the break. Caldwell. Bello after the clear up. Gets the inbound for Keenan. Keenan to the foul line. Dish. Work its way around the horn. Works its way to Bello. Inside out for Forsberg. Full shooting complement here. 20 to shoot, and Caldwell throws up a 3. Ends up being a great pass to Bello, who works her way back out for a Forsberg 2, and the long one will fall.
Good job getting that offensive rebound. It missed the mark. Did a reset and a basket.
36-25, Leominster's lead.
Biggest lead, 11?
Lorenz's 3 will not go. Had a 13-point lead in the first half.
Not true. 10 point.
Had a 13-point lead in the first half.
We'll have to check the tape.
That's correct. Moving inside.
I always do, every night.
The runner does not go for Caldwell. Rattles around the iron, and Lorenz comes away with it. Back down floor, Lorenz cruising in. Bodies fall everywhere, and the block was the signal. This one's going to be billed against Leominster.
Try a scoop shot.
And that will send Dana Lorenz to the line, the senior.
Who's 15 now for us?
Check the exit ramp sign.
I was going to say, yeah, formerly exit. Yeah, that was formerly exit 23. That's Kyra Forsberg.
10-4. Her third. Team sixth.
Tantasqua will be shooting the rest of the way. Wholesale changes both sides.
For those of you that weren't with us off the top of the broadcast, if you're wondering if Kate, Billy, and I have all of a sudden gone to sleep, no, Leominster sporting new uniforms tonight, and you know how it goes. The last people to find out, that would be the broadcast team, who found out after opening introductions that there were new uniforms and new numbers to go with them.
Oopsie-daisy.
Yeah, so it goes. So easily forgotten. 2 from the wing does not go. Off the foot of Caldwell, and the ball back to Tantasqua. 5:23 to play here in the fourth. It's a 36-26 Leominster lead is just 10.
Billy, I don't think he's taking it personally at all, do you?
No, not at all. No.
Put another quarter in the merry-go-round
That
as Lorenz launches a 3 and buries it.
Quick 4 points out of Lorenz here in the fourth. Give her 13 points. Team high 13 points for the Warriors.
Forsberg got the lead pass, thought about snapping it across for Marwa, and then there was traffic through the lane. Pompey gets depleted through the lane, and Coach Rusty Frederick praising somebody as this one comes back down floor. Cross-court drive. This one doesn't go for Vijak, and she catches the ball, goes to the floor, called for the walk. Ball back to Leominster. 4:40 to play here in the fourth. The physicality has certainly picked up, or as they say in the land of pro wrestling, Bill Thomas, business has just picked up out here on the floor. Elbows are flying on that one as well.
A little aggressive right there.
Speaking of people taking it personally, this second half has featured a shove off the ball, a couple of elbows thrown in all directions. Nothing is connected other than the shove. But you could feel the intensity on the floor. It has that playoff feel. Leominster clearly playing for their playoff lives if they want to qualify. Cross court, this is Pompey. Left side jumper, around and out. Coach Frederick tried to body English it in. Leominster, second opportunity. Pompey for Bello. Bello's lay-in from the lane will
Good
go.
job by Pompey, following her own shot though, getting the offensive rebound for a reset.
Lorenz, straight away Law. 3 back rim, no. And the rebound down. Forsberg comes up floor for Keenan. Now Pompey. And Forsberg settles the action halfway through this fourth quarter.
Last 2 minutes for Leominster's offense have been huge, though. They've been able to re-expand that lead a little bit, get a little extra cushion.
Bello had a little double clutch in the lane, drew the contact on Law, and Bello will go to the line to shoot 2. Got the benefit of that whistle. Looked like Bello could have been whistled for a walk in there as well.
Law picks up her second.
A little too deep under the basket on the baseline too, kind of whistle bailed her out.
Short on the first free throw opportunity. 3:47 to play here in the fourth. It's 38-29, Leominster's lead. Bello from the line, does not go. Pompey comes down with the rebound, keeps it alive for Leominster. Kelly in the corner, Forsberg, and she buries it.
Big basket, offensive rebound, leading to another reset and basket.
41-29, Leominster's lead. The drive, it's Reno into a triple team, and she draws contact, and it becomes an offensive foul.
I think it's about time we got that call there. Had that happen a couple of times, driving down that right block, leading with the forearm. I think Coach Fredericks kind of worked for that call and finally got it.
3:28 to play here in the fourth, a 41-29 Leominster advantage. The full court pressure from Tantasqua.
Got to keep the ball moving, don't get trapped.
Kelly caught in the backcourt, comes cross court, finds Boulay. Boulay looked left, there was nobody in the left wing. Has to correct and go back to the right. Inside Bello, turn around in the lane, rattles home for 2 more.
Okay, they continue to look for Bello, using her size, and she's having a great game in the paint tonight.
6 points for Bello on the night.
Giannopoulos comes to the corner, through the hands of Johnson and finds Pompey. An even break down the floor, Leominster slows the action into their half-court offense. As important as points are on the possession, clock may be of more value.
Yeah, Rusty trying to pull the offense out too. He's trying to talk clock, but it's hard to coach clock.
Absolutely, turn around in the lane. Bello stripped away by Law. She fought the Law, and guess what? The Law won. Here we go in transition. Gets this one back to the inside. Johnson's scoop shot is a foul, and Johnson's got 2 from the line.
All game.
Still time winding down here. Leominster found a way to take a couple of another minutes off the clock there and expand that lead.
Anytime we can get a reference to music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, also known as the best music before I was born.
Or reference a
Who's
kids'
4
TV
now?
show.
Absolutely, or reference a kids' TV show. Never miss a chance to get it in. Taylor Boulay, the sophomore.
Her second, team 7th. Tantasqua now in the bonus.
And Johnson's first will fall at the line to bring Tantasqua over the 30 mark. Second one doesn't go. Tap for the rebound. It comes down in the hands of Bello. Up floor. Forsberg, cross court, find Boulay. Back top of the key, cycle it around. This is Forsberg. She wants to come back to the top of the key and balance the floor, yes. Boulay comes around, picks it up in the right wing. 9 to shoot on the possession. Forsberg, 3 from the left side this time, and sticks it home.
Biggest lead of the night for sure now for the Lady Blue Devils, 16.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth, and Forsberg is having a phenomenal night wearing that new number 15, and it's a walk-in transition. The ball will go back to Leominster. Sometimes new exit numbers, Bill Thomas, can be to your advantage.
Maybe it confused the other team. We can only hope.
Pompey sees Bello flash to the baseline, and the lay-in is good.
And that's because Tantasqua's got to press the ball.
And Giannopoulos right back up floor. Time waning here, final 96 seconds here of regulation. To the floor, the officials let them sort that out for a while. And the call is a held basketball finally. Alternate possession favors the Warriors.
Time ticking away here for the Warriors.
Bill Thomas.
Desperation
This
time.
Leominster Blue Devil team knocking on the doorstep of a 50-point game.
Big, and I tell you, biggest win of the
Foul
season.
away from the basketball. Basketball was being inbound. There was a cut across the front of the inbounding spot, and they're going to whistle that against the Warriors. It looked like Giadopoulos was who they pointed to, and it's Leominster basketball.
And Kate, to your point, no 50-point games all year, I don't believe. He winning in the win or the losses. I'll take a quick check
Boulay
here.
for Bello in the lane. That one doesn't go.
Sorry,
And the
Bello's
rebound
having
is
fun
down for
inside.
Johnson. Indeed, she is.
That was Giadopoulos' fourth foul, by the way.
Giadopoulos, who's been the offensive weapon of the night for Tantasqua. They need her through the remainder of whatever remains. Final minute here, and Coach Rusty Frederick will spend the timeout. 1:08 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 48-30. Leominster with the lead.
And to expand on your point, Todd, 44 is their biggest output in the opening season loss to Hopedale. So, yeah, good night tonight on both ends of the court for the Lady Blue Devils.
And that is one of the points that Kate made to us before we came on the air, Bill Thomas, which has been the slow and steady decline of Leominster's offensive output. So tonight, you're able to see a bit of a turnaround, the start of something positive that Coach Frederick can build on the rest of the way.
And defensively, the only thing that compares to this is their 38-17 win over Oakmont. But on the defensive side, the next least amount of points they've given up, I believe, is 43, and that was a 43-35 loss. So a big win all around tonight for the Lady Blue Devils, offensively and defensively.
And Kate, for Leominster, you've got to look at, of course, what's the situation here. 56 in a division of 66 for the statewide playoffs. You're talking about needing to win every basketball game to even mathematically have a thought of qualifying for the top 32 to make the statewide postseason. I got to also imagine you're looking at something similar to qualifying for the Samata tournament. That's the Central Massachusetts Athletic Directors District Tournament that will be held in the middle of February, exclusively here to Central Massachusetts. That is not a statewide bracket. That is also not a statewide MIAA governed event. It is governed by the Central Massachusetts Athletic Directors, where, of course, the Midwatch and the Southern Worcester County League will get together for what is essentially a college-esque conference tournament. In order for Leominster to qualify, they need to win just about every basketball game they have left.
It's a tall task, but tonight, an impressive effort thus far. I mean, 51 seconds remaining, but a really impressive effort by this Blue Devil squad.
Smith, shot short at the shot clock buzzer. Rebound down in the hands of Reno. Coach Frederick says no fouls.
Don't foul.
Want to keep the clock running here. The drop off, this is Johnson. Johnson working on Boulay, tried to sneak it around the pass. It's picked by Pompey. Shot clock is off. Leominster is 26 seconds away from basically a program-defining win. Johnson will swat this one away.
Sure, Coach Fredericks will have a lot to say post-game tonight.
Down floor, it's Johnson, drops it across court. Inside, Johnson gets it back. Around it goes Giadopoulos. Too much time, shot missed. Foul committed by Pompey. And Giadopoulos will have two from the line. And Kate, you're absolutely right. In theory,
Give her the basket.
give her the basket. That 2 points is meaningless in the grand scheme.
No way. Play defense.
Give her the basket.
7 8/10 seconds left here in the fourth. Giadopoulos is first away. Too hard, in and out.
48-point night, Bill Thomas, for these Blue Devils.
Yeah, it's good to see a nice explosion, but it all fed off the first quarter, Kate, and I think your stat sheet will bear that out.
Giadopoulos' second does not go either. Tap for the rebound. Smith comes away with it. Outlets to Kelly. Leominster just has to dribble this one out. And the Blue Devils can celebrate with a win on home floor tonight. A program-defining and a season-defining victory as the formerly 1-7 Blue Devils take out the 9-2 Warriors with a 48-30 win for Leominster on home floor tonight.
You could have got good odds on this game tonight, and I don't think you would have found anybody that would have laid them for you, but Lady Blue Devils found a way to come through, and I've said it repeatedly. I think it all started in that first quarter. They came out aggressive. They pressed off the inbounds. They played defense from end to end, whatever it is, the full 90 feet or however it is on a basketball court. And I think that was the key to the game. And it led to a good offensive output in the first quarter, and it carried through.
Indeed, it did. And Leominster takes the victory end to end. They never surrendered the lead tonight. 48-30, Leominster with the victory from start to finish, or post to post, as the situation may be. 48-30, Leominster with a victory over Tantasqua tonight. Blue Devils will improve to 2-7. Warriors will fall to 9-3. Leominster is on the road at Fitchburg on Friday night, as the athletic department declines to play the rivalry doubleheader this year. So Leominster and Fitchburg girls will be on the road at the Doug Crutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg on Friday night. We'll do our best to get you updates on that one as we cover Leominster and Fitchburg boys basketball here at the gym at Leominster High School. Wish we had the opportunity for the doubleheader. Did not pan out, as the schools did not come to an agreement on that. Meanwhile, for Tantasqua, they will continue on. They'll go on the road at Leicester and follow that up on the road at Minnechaug, the former home of Coach Giugio prior to coming to his head coaching opportunity here at Tantasqua. That's where the two teams go as we proceed over the next handful of weeks. 48-30, Leominster over Tantasqua is a final. So much more to come. We're just getting started here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster High School head coach Rusty Frederick joins us here courtside for a post-game conversation. Kate recaps the entirety of the stats for you. All that as we continue. 48-30, Leominster over Tantasqua, and more to come post-game next. This is RFM. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School, it's a 48.
Well, you know, pre-game we're always guessing about what you can do.
Get your marker board out, take 2. All right, well, wait, we're live? Post-game here, Leominster with a big victory tonight, 48-30, a win over Tantasqua tonight, joined now by Leominster High School head coach Rusty Frederick, and Coach all smiles here courtside tonight. Great victory right off the bat. I think we saw the change in personality with your players. Came out, full court pressure, a word that we haven't gotten to use a lot this year, intensity. You saw it on the floor tonight.
Yeah, the girls, you know, they came in with 3 great practices, and you know, we kind of like wiped the slate clean and said, second half of the season, we just got new uniforms. You found that out. So we're like, all right, we want the new uniforms. Let's try them out. And you know, 3 great practices. Finally getting a little run of consistency. So,
sure.
You know, it's just like they were. I thought they were in better shape today than, you know, we wanted to wear them down and run a little bit. And then, you know, the goal was to do this tonight. I'm not used to this.
I was going to say, it is the type of offensive output that you've certainly needed. You've exceeded your offense from any other game, win or loss, throughout the rest of the campaign this year. That's a great starting point. You got the ball to fall. It really did seem, though, to begin on the defensive end of the floor, whether it was the pressure, taking the basketball away, being able to move the ball to the basket, and obviously finishing at the rim had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, the girls did a good job. I mean, they came out running. Mia got hot early. That helps. That takes the pressure off of us. You know, we go in droughts of scoring a lot, and you know, the intensity, got to get on the floor, be first to the floor, and it does start with defense. I mean, I told them let's hold them to 30 and under, and look at that.
There you are, 30 on the nose.
I didn't really realize that, but I said before the game, let's keep it 30. I mean, this is a good Tantasqua team.
Absolutely.
They came, like, I know last week when I looked at their rating, they were top 10 in the state.
Yep.
So
of their division.
3, 4?
Yeah, Division 3, 1 down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a great night certainly in that sense. You mentioned Keenan, who's been an interesting player. At first, she slowly played her way into the lineup, creating opportunities. You know, we talk often about, you know, if you hit in a bat ball sport, coach will find a spot for you out on the floor. In this case, she's forced your hand and forced her way into this lineup, as she doesn't miss when she's had shot opportunities.
No, you know, she's lighting it up lately, you know, and I'm going to keep going to her. And I know I'm going to get good defense from her. So she's fast, she's all over the place, and you know, I think she even made some nice passes too, you know, because people are rushing out to her now, and you know, it's no secret now that she's going to be shooting. And you know, and then when you get Kara going too, you know, things are looking good. They're getting more confidence. They're a very happy group right now, and we came out of there with a beautiful win, you know?
Absolutely. Called it a programming defining, or certainly a season defining win. It was something you desperately needed. You know, of course, we, from our perspective, sit there and we can look at the bigger scheme of things and say, well, if you want to raise yourself into that top 32 to make the statewide playoff, you really can't lose another basketball game. If you want to make the Central Mass Athletic Directors Tournament in February, probably can't lose another basketball game. So each and every night is essentially an elimination game for your squad, but you can only, of course, focus on that one game at a time.
One game at a time, and that's how we're taking it. We got to have a great second half and let the chips fall. You know, Shrewsbury's, they picked up their game, and you know, it's hard to judge teams by record or by, you know, scores and stuff, because you don't know who's not playing.
That's right.
I mean, obviously they didn't have people early in the year, and now they do, and now they're ramping it up. They just beat Algonquin, so you know, we got Fitchburg coming up Friday, and they're going to open up the gyms for us.
And indeed they are. And so there it is on Friday night. You're going to Fitchburg, not the usual doubleheader that we've seen in the past. So you guys will be on the road over at Fitchburg, taking on a team that, you know, maybe remembers that sting a little bit from that last year, that COVID postseason matchup that we had. You guys came in with you know, kind of having played them in a difficult fashion the first time you played, came back in that postseason playoff game and came up with a big win that maybe seemed to frustrate this Fitchburg team. They're certainly going to remember it coming out. What are you looking for as you get set to match up with the Red Raiders on Friday night?
I'm just looking for a battle. They're going to be out for revenge, you know. Of course they're going to remember it. great motivation for them. But in this type of a game, you don't even need that. Everyone's excited to play, and anytime the Raiders and the Blue Devils get together,
Absolutely.
it's a fun game. And then you leave the rest to the coaches.
I was going to say, and you hope you guys move the right pieces at the right time. Offensively, obviously, this would be the team you need to show up in order to be in that matchup on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, pieces are starting to fall. We just lost Kylie for the year. Jada went down 2 minutes into the Wachusett game, so she was trying to get her in there a little. I was trying to hold off on her.
Sure.
But she's a tough kid, and she'll be ready to go too. So let's go.
The players that are available, those are the players that are going to play on the floor. Very happy, Coach Rusty Frederick, after a 48-30 victory over a quality Tantasqua team tonight here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Coach Frederick and the team on the road at Fitchburg on Friday night. We'll continue with our post-game coverage of Leominster and Tantasqua in just a moment. Kate's got her second half stats as well as a complete recap of tonight's action. All that when we continue. This is RFM. (48-30), Leominster a winner tonight in girls basketball action here inside the gym at Leominster High School as we continue here post-game inside the gym tonight and welcome you back to our courtside broadcast position, and you could hear it in Coach Rusty Frederick's voice. That is the type of breakout victory that this team has been looking for, and they finally got. tonight with a 48-30 win. And right out of the gate, Kate, that was really the kind of the name of the game. They came out of the gate hard. They pushed the number up, and then it felt like they white-knuckled it down the stretch. But if you're able to build up that lead and timely baskets kept it. I used the hourglass reference in the end of that third quarter and on into the fourth, and it felt like Leominster's, sand was about to run out.
Yeah.
And then a Forsberg three gets hit, and then there's another steal, and you're able to burn more clock out in the basketball game. They just, every time they needed a play, they seemed like they got the play they needed tonight.
You're absolutely right about that. The second and the third quarters are what made us the most nervous and anxious. You started to see that lead dissipate just a smidgen in the second quarter, and then yet again, as we've seen time and time again on both the boys' side and the girls' side, it's seemingly that third quarter dud. It's as if you wish you almost didn't have a halftime that you would have to sit
just
through.
Just keep right on
just
going.
Let us keep going because it's been
Think a little bit
abysmal.
about last year. You bring that up. Last year, there was no halftime. You had those mask breaks that were in between, and that was it. And you just kept right on going because they, of course, were limiting time here. You have to wonder, does that affect basketball teams? Are they a little unsteady with, having that 10-minute break and then coming back out? And you got to imagine that's one of those things that it's a luxury to get to practice that kind of circumstance. Right. And right now, with practices having been at a premium, you can't take the risk and burn that time. You have other, things you need to get to in the action. It's a great point on your part.
No,
hey, about that.
Hey, thanks.
Indeed. Kate's got her full game stat recap for you, and let's take a look at those numbers, Kate.
All right, let's take a look at Tantasqua's side of the ball first. So a 30-point evening for them. It was an 18-point deficit. As a team, they shot 2 of 6 from the line. That's 33%. They had 26 rebounds, 2 steals, 22 turnovers. Individual statistics, Lorenz with the team high 13 points on the night, Reno with 3. Giadopoulos with 5, Law with 4, and Johnson with 5 points. Now on the Blue Devils side of the ball, they got that 18-point victory, 48-point night. I got nervous. Bill Thomas had talked about a 50-point mark, and I mean, we were getting close, but good on them. A nice offensive display by the Leominster Blue Devils tonight. 26 rebounds, 4 steals, 22 turnovers. They shot 2 of 7 as a team from the line. Marwa ends her night with 4, Nevard with 2, Smith with 3, Forsberg ends her night with a team high 14. Keenan ends her night with 12 points. That means 2 Lady Blue Devils in double digits on the evening. And Bill Thomas had mentioned that pregame, wanting to see multiple Blue Devils in double digits. You had 2 of them tonight, Bill Thomas.
That also means that if Keenan finished the night with 12 and had 12 at halftime, it means she failed to score in the second half, which means there's, in theory, more points for Leominster to squeeze out of basketball games as they continue to move forward.
You've got that right. Bello ends her night with 8 and Pompey with 4, and that is your stat recap.
A 48-30 Leominster victory as we continue here post-game for this one tonight. And Bill Thomas, here's that kind of last opportunity. We were talking about it a couple of moments ago. We're talking about Keenan. Of course, she's stepped up and she's making the contributions, but you also got to note who's not able to make some contributions right now, and that's Isabella Nevard, who has just been having struggle after struggle after struggle throughout the year, whether it was fouls, getting her in trouble, not allowing her to be out on the floor, or getting into, looked like tonight, she was in that position to really have a breakout night, and then all of a sudden got into some foul trouble, and that limited her minutes that she was able to play. And so instead it's led to other people having to step up on the floor. And of course Keenan's numbers jumped out in the first half of action, but I got to also point to Kyra Forsberg, who had a great night tonight. It seemed like she had the 3-pointers Leominster needed when they desperately needed them. She was there to just keep that lead just wide enough and just keep nosing Leominster ahead as they continue down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. And to just talk a little bit about Isabel, she came out strong in that first quarter. On both ends of the court, I believe she had some early points in the first quarter and got herself to the line, but she picked up those 3 quick fouls. We didn't see much of her after the halftime. Got a little bit of playing time in the third, picked up that fourth, and kind of watched the bench the rest of the way. So, other than that, we're about to get locked.
Kate will be right back.
Don't lock that door. I tried to get him to give us a key. I knew that was going to happen.
Keep trying, Bill Thomas.
Back to the subject. The other girl I was really impressed with tonight was Bello. I would have bet that she scored double figures. She was so aggressive around the basket, working that lane. Not afraid to use that interior pass as a turnaround shot opportunity. Where most of the season she's been looking to kick that ball back out. She hasn't been facing the basket. She's been playing with her back to the basket. I saw a lot of drop step tonight and turn into the basket. Not a lot of shots fell. I think Kate said she only had 8, but she had a lot of good looks, and I love the aggressiveness that she showed around the basket tonight. Whether she was making baskets or not, you got to start somewhere. I thought she got off to a good start for the rest of the season, showing that aggressiveness. She's got the height. She got to put it to good use, and I thought she did a good job of that tonight.
It was finally a night of effective aggressiveness for Leominster. That's what we've been looking for as the season has gone, and certainly effective aggressiveness was the name of the game tonight. Let's look ahead here to, of course, Leominster and Fitchburg coming up on Friday night. First on the girls' side, Kate, and we were just talking with Coach Rusty Frederick. Of course, this is one of those difficult situations. Anytime you get into this rivalry and you get the two communities together, there's got to be some agreements made between the rivals. You need to have an active rival on the other side, an active dance partner, if you will, in order to make certain things happen. And in this particular case, just so many pieces moving around, and the ADs could not get together on the doubleheader agreement, so the two teams will play in opposite locations, which we saw in one of the meetings last year during the COVID procedures, as they didn't play the doubleheaders. They ended up playing them at separate locations, and that's what you'll have on Friday night. So the girls will go over to Fitchburg, play at the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse against a Fitchburg program that continues year in and year out to get just a little bit better and a little bit better. And so here we go. The two teams will meet up on Friday night, and this one is going to be an important matchup for both teams. Fitchburg needs it in order to keep nosing themselves forward in the Division III postseason. And for Leominster, we talked about it with Coach Frederick. We talked about it before we went to Coach Frederick. Every single game. Cannot emphasize that enough. The way this postseason is structured, the way you have to accrue these points, you quite literally have to win every single game because of the situation you put yourself in with a 1-7 start.
You're absolutely right about that. And the interesting thing, like you said, is when you're talking about these rivalry matchups, you have to realize that there are a lot of variables involved. Something like swing players potentially not being able to go from, obviously one site to another.
Yep.
And you're talking about, travel situations and fans, and it's just there's
officials,
officials,
snow on Saturday,
there's all sorts of minutia that goes into putting these things together. And so, like you said, sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's what ends up happening on Friday. Obviously, we are saddened by that because we want to be able to cover both teams, but we can't be in two places at one time. And so we will venture here to the wooden gym at Leominster High School on Friday, and bring our snow boots with us as
That's
well,
right.
because it's supposed to. The bomb cyclone is arriving on Friday night. So it's going to be interesting. But, one of the things that you made mention to that was incredibly apropos is the fact that both of these teams need a win. And this is a very unforgiving playoff system. There's not a situation in which, you get a lot of automatic bids that, let's just get to 500. Things aren't like that anymore. It's not
Nope.
a situation where, okay, Leominster, you're 2-7. We just got, just 5 more wins, or,
Yeah.
It's every game. Because it's such an unforgiving playoff system. I mean, nothing is as unforgiving as the playoff system in football, but in every single sport, it's very unforgiving, and you can't have a slow start. You have to, come out of the gate strong.
And that is going to be the name of the game. And Bill Thomas will turn our attention to the game we'll have for you here on RFM, and that's the boys' side of things. Leominster and Fitchburg action coming right here. A Fitchburg team that's hanging right around the 500 mark, maybe a little bit better. They're just outside of the playoff picture as both communities find themselves in Division II for boys' basketball. So they're all hanging right there, trying to jockey their way in. Meanwhile, Leominster, of course, they're off to a hot start. Top 10 in the statewide playoff rankings the first time out. Again, every win, of course, does matter. You want to pick up the win. You need the wins, and then it's your arch rival on top of it. And Coach Rusty Frederick made mention of it. The MIAA and the Midland Wachusett League athletic directors got together and they voted to reopen the gyms. So that was a vote by agreement of the Midland Wachusett League athletic directors to allow the return to full crowds, fully masked, but full crowds are allowed to return here to the gym at Leominster High School and all of the other gyms across the league, with local schools each having local control and the opportunity to choose against that. Based on what we saw on social media today, every AD forwarding out the kind of universal press release given by the entire league, it appears all of those gyms will reopen, and just in time for Fitchburg and Leominster on Friday night. So Bill Thomas, they're expecting largest crowd of the year, Everybody looking to come out and be a part of this one. Fitchburg, of course, would like nothing more than to make Leominster very unhappy. It would only be their second loss on the season, but it could be a loss that hurts very badly in the playoff standings.
It could, and coming off that big win against Wachusett the other night, Fitchburg knows that too, and they're like nothing better than knock Leominster off the pedestal. Just to expand a little bit more on what Kate said, I know it's top 32, but is it top 32 plus teams that reach 500
that
or
is
teams
correct.
that achieve 500 with 10 wins?
Or in the
I know a lot of teams aren't paying 20 games
correct.
because that's kind of threw things up in the air.
So
but,
it's a little unclear, but
so
it's much like golf.
Leominster's not going to get into the top 32,
Correct.
but they might struggle to get to 500.
To 500.
That's really what they got to look for. I think they got 7 games left, and they got to win at least 6 out of 7 of those. The final half, the second half of the season. So
top
it's
32.
It's not the train coming at you just yet in that
Yes.
tunnel. There's still a little bit of light showing through, but Leominster after tonight, they really got a lot to build on. We'll have to see if they can expand on that against Fitchburg on Friday. Be a great chance to get that second win in a row and really start building momentum for the second half of the season. Coming here, Fitchburg's, like you say, they're still playing for 500. They got an outside shot at the playoffs, even if though they're struggling to get that top 32 statewide too. It's still that outside shot of something to play for, but when Leominster and Fitchburg together, I don't care if both teams are 0-10. They're both going to come in like they're both undefeated, and that's the kind of game we're going to see, and I expect that Friday night.
Top 32 ties, and then teams with 500 records. And so all the way down that line, they will go. Once you get above 32, they're going to move to, much like we've seen in the NCAA tournament, play-in games in order to make their way into it. And eventually that tournament will still be 32 teams at some point in time at the statewide in each of the divisions.
It'll be interesting to see how they work the end of that bracket, say from the 30th on down, and where they fit in if they have to expand beyond 32 to make up for 500 teams. It could fall outside that line. The MIA's got a lot of work to do. I will say that I give MIA credit that they're starting to loosen that iron fist hold they've had over the high school sports and giving some of the authority back to the schools, back to the leagues. We see it now. They come out and said the boys, not boys, but the basketball teams can start congratulating each other at the end of the games if they so choose. So they're giving schools options and not ruling with that iron fist. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that coming into future sports when it comes to the MI making decisions, letting the schools handle that a little bit more on their own, within their own groupings and how they feel in their own regions.
Hopefully it is a sign of maybe things pointing in the direction of how we knew them prior to March of 2020. Or maybe just opening up another opportunity till the next surge. That's always going to be the backstory.
Oh, there's
that
another
continues
there's
on
another
as well.
Omicron coming.
Oh, is there another name?
A fourth variant, I think it is.
There's a large Greek alphabet as the as
I'm
the
saying
case.
they're working through
may be.
the Greek alphabet, and I think it's the Revenge of the Nerds alphabet is what they're working on.
Kate mentioned bomb cyclone, by the way. That's another invented weather term, as I don't seem to remember that one from back in the day.
I noticed the weather people weren't predicting how much snow. It could be anywhere from 1 inch to 1 foot or 1 foot to 2 feet, depending on what color shade you were in on the map today. So, they're not hedging their bets. They're like, we're going to get snow, but we're not even going to guess anymore.
Here's what I can tell you, Bill Thomas. The Weather Bureau at RFM still has yet to be built. That is where we stand on that one.
I get my weather by looking outside.
We can guess with the best of them. Open your window. You'll see on Saturday what you have for
right.
totals.
We'll be
is
here
our
Friday
current
night
advice.
for sure.
We will be here on Friday night indeed, and that is a perfect transition point to our action. Leominster and Fitchburg boys basketball here inside the gym at Leominster High School coming up on Friday night for you here on RFM. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the Facebook Live coverage. Leominster and Fitchburg boys. 6:45 for our countdown to tip-off. 7 o'clock the tip-off here on RFM. For that one, we'll be there on our radio home. It is the K-Zone game of the week, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com for that action as well. If you are on the go and need the audio call as well, we've got that action for you, Billy, Kate, and I, over on our radio home at WPKZ. 6:35 is the countdown to tip off on the radio side of things. We'll have that extended countdown for you, radio only, working our way toward the top of the hour for Leominster and Fitchburg boys basketball here on RFM coming up on Friday night. And of course, there's so many ways to be a part of the action here on RFM. You got the live coverage on Facebook Live. That's facebook.com/Media Rivalry. You want it on demand, it'll be available before midnight. tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry on the same day delay on demand, or go to youtube.com and search Rivalry Family Media, and you will find yourselves to our archive on demand, available all the action going all the way back to the founding of RFM in 2019. You want updates on the schedule? You want changes? You want previews? You want upcoming coverage? You want the best reporting gathered from all around the region? Thanks to all of those great likes and follows out there at Media Rivalry on Twitter. That's where you can find all of those updates any old time you look for them out there on Twitter. Like, follow, and subscribe today, or as the kids say, smash that like button for more coverage here on RFM. Once again, the final score here inside the gym at Leominster High School tonight. Leominster picks up a big girls basketball victory, 48-30. Leominster over Tantasqua. The Blue Devils improve to 2-7. The Warriors fall to 9-3. For my broadcast team, Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins saying thank you so very much for joining us. And until Friday night, it's Rivalry Basketball, Leominster and Fitchburg. Till then, so long, everybody.